Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We'll be continuing where we left off. We now have to assist Lieutenant Zephyr's squadron, which appears to have been ambushed. Hopefully, it's not Republic forces, otherwise, this is going to go sideways very quickly.
Captain Estra, we're getting close to the transmission coordinates.
Let's move fast, Blaze. Engines at full power.
Incoming! More Renegade Army ships, Captain!
Activate the shields. Let's finish them off. Targets neutralized, crew. We are out of danger.
All right. Oh no, don't get in my way. There we go.
Hold on as much as you can! Reinforcements are on their way!
Everybody get ready. Lieutenant Blaze, give us some coverage.
You picked a bad day to piss us off! Ash, redirect the energy flow to the top cannons!
I'm reading warp signatures. Copy that, Mike. Lieutenant, covering fire on my signal. We must push forward.
You heard the captain, boys! Let's move! That was tight! I've never seen someone fly like that since instruction with Captain Quartz. The commander was right, putting us under your orders.
Captain Zephyr, are you all right? What happened?
We were following an unidentified squadron heading for King's Fall when our position was compromised. They fell upon us and we couldn't react.
So, King's Fall.
That's right, sir. Several ships were left behind and slowed us down. The rest of the ships must keep on moving. If it hadn't been for you...
Okay, Captain Zephyr. Get back immediately to headquarters with the remaining ships. Lieutenant Blaze, we're heading for the station. Maybe the ships they were following are Captain Flanagan's.
Aye, aye, Captain!
Okay, let's continue. Also, it looks like I forgot to repair for a while. May have to do that if the station isn't completely hostile.
Docking crew, we need a docking bay.
Okay, so before I get to that, let's just repair the ship. See if anyone's injured. No. Check the crew members. We've got a few that can be upgraded. Good. All right. And let's continue. You and your crew disembark from the spaceship and walk through the spaceport until you meet Lieutenant Blaze and her men. Jody Blaze, we've checked the ships, Captain. You were right. Some of them match the ships under Quartz command. It's very likely that Flanagan is at Kingsfall. This is a good sign. At the very least, you might be able to capture a captain who can confirm the information that Burke has given you. You take the opportunity to plant another tracker on one of the ships to make sure you don't lose them again. Great, where should we start? Jody Blaze, Kingsfall isn't exactly a small station. We'd best stay alert and try to seize him when they return to their ships. You answer thoughtfully. If they came here in that many ships, they'd probably outnumber us. Even if we had Polaris with us, it's still too risky. Perhaps we should wait for them to take off and seize them once they're in the air, although Flanagan doesn't seem the type to come quietly. Jody Blaze, taking him down would also solve the issue with Captain Burke, won't it? I'd like to hear what Flanagan has to tell us. We still don't know if we can trust Burke. After thinking about it some more, Blaze speaks again. I have a hunch, Captain. Follow Blaze. Part of Blaze's crew stays on board the ships, monitoring the spaceport. If there are any enemy movements while you are searching the station, they will report it to you immediately. You follow the lieutenant who leads you through the station's streets. Most of the people you come across do not even notice you. Considering how close the station is to Nova Magna, it is not surprising that they are used to a military presence. You stop and take a look around. Your surroundings have suddenly changed. You find yourself in a street aglow with eccentric neon signs drawing all kinds of outlandish shapes in the dark. Where are we? Jody Blaze. Welcome to the Fortune District, Captain. All the space mob families can be found here, at the casinos and brothels. It's a city of outlaws, to put it simply. Everybody knows what's going on in these streets, and yet the authorities turn a blind eye since it's by far one of the station's greatest sources of revenue. The perfect place to remain unnoticed. Any children of the sun found here on duty would be instantly executed. Not bad, Lieutenant. You go on. Let's assume Flanagan and his men are around here. How are we going to find them? There's over 100 venues. We can't go around checking each and every one of them hoping to find them. Jody Blaze, we're in the Fortune District, right? Let's try our luck. Look for Flanagan. Huh. Yay. After searching for a while, you stop and look at one of the casinos. The signs with the name The Horseshoe and flashing lights and large horseshoes hanging over its entrance draw you in. You walk across a carpet through a hall crowded with people, each looking more suspicious than the last. Some doormen stop you before you enter the gambling rooms and ask you to hand in your weapons. You show them your military IDs and they immediately step aside. You amble through the tables trying to find someone who matches the description of Flanagan that has been provided by the lieutenant. The lights of the slot machines and the rattling sound of dice fill the densely crowded air. Keep searching. You and your crew split up to cover more ground. The gambling tables on every floor surrounded by people betting hundreds of credits. Even if you manage to find Flanagan in a place like this, it would not be easy to apprehend him. To the civilians, Flanagan and his men are still children of the sun, so it's unlikely they have been noticed. If by any chance they are here and armed, fighting them inside the establishment would cause total chaos. This is something you should avoid doing unless you have no other choice. You're beginning to get impatient. You've checked the whole casino from top to bottom, but there is no trace of him. Actually finding him in the first establishment you entered would have been a huge coincidence, something more likely to occur in a movie or a video game than in real life. Oh yeah, sure. At this precise moment you hear someone calling you from behind. Captain Ken Flanagan. Excuse me, ma'am. Your heart skips a beat as Flanagan stares at you. Ken Flanagan. I left my guard down. King's Fall cocktails are much more treacherous than I remember. Why don't we sit and play some dice? It takes you a second to react. You are glad you are not wearing your official uniform. Although you can vaguely recall Flanagan's face from the battle at the communications center, you'd been wearing a Children of the Sun combat mask at the time, so neither he nor crew are able to recognize you. Let's play. You walk with the captain to a dice table and sit next to the rest of the players. Of all the games he has chosen, the fleet is decidedly apt. It consists of players rolling the dice and adding up the figures which represent different moves in a space battle. Each move damages the enemies until their counter reaches 0. The last one standing wins and the game starts over again. Roll the dice. You roll the dice a few times until the rest of the players have been defeated. You collect the credits as Flanagan looks at you with a mischievous grin. Beginner's luck, let's try again. Luck is on your side. If Flanagan keeps on losing, sooner or later he'll have to leave the casino. Play again. You roll the dice again and obtain an infiltration which consumes Flanagan's last life. He sighs, aggravated. Ken Flanagan. One more try, this time you won't get me. Play again. You roll the dice several times, but you cannot help being defeated. Flanagan collects the earnings with a smile, looking at you. Come on, there's a long night ahead. Play again. A good captain knows when he's losing. I'm done for the night. You both stand up and walk down to the ground floor. Once you are outside, Flanagan lights a cigar and stretches out his hand to you. Here's where we part ways, stranger. It's funny, I somehow feel like we've met before. I think we have a friend in common, Flanagan. The man grimaces as you search inside your coat. Ken Flanagan. I don't remember having told you my... Flanagan stops talking when he sees your gun. He quickly steps aside trying to dodge you, but you anticipate his move and hit him in the face. Both the cigar and captain fall to the ground. You speak through your transmitter. Get back here immediately, I've got the captain. The crew and the lieutenants exit the venue and help you to cuff Flanagan and head to the docks with him. As soon as you get to your ship, you lock him in one of the cells and take off immediately, before his crew realizes he is missing. When the captain wakes up, there will be time to interrogate him. We have what we're looking for.
Captain, Flanagan just woke up. He seems to be rather upset.
Copy that, Mai. Forward Lieutenant Blaze the message. We'll wait for her to board the ship to commence the interrogation.
As you command. I request your permission to activate contention protocol. Captain Flanagan won't stop cursing at me. It's becoming annoying.
Permission granted. Cut the voltage in half, though. We need him conscious to make him talk.
Of course.
Alright, let's see what he has to say. You meet Blaze on deck and walk with her down to the ship's brig. The moment the hatch opens, you can hear loud and clear what Mai was talking about. Locked up in his cell, Flanagan yells in anger. Come on, you damn calculator, do it again, I dare you. The sound of an electric shock echoes through the corridor. Ouch, I'm going to make a necklace out of your core pieces. The man sees you through the force field and he goes silent. I see you're still in good shape, Flanagan. Ken Flanagan. Captain Astra, you've finally come to visit me. I thought your plan was to let your AI fry me with the electric shocks. You cut him off. Enough blabbering, Flanagan. You know why we're here. The man looks at the lieutenant and goes on. Well, so Morphe's little girl follows you now, Captain Astra. Quartz would be very disappointed. Blaze interrupts. Don't you dare mention the commander, traitor. We'll kill all of you. You order Blaze to calm down with a gesture. We've spoken to Burke and her men, Flanagan. Flanagan smiles slightly, and it looks like she's persuaded you. I don't know what that expletive has told you, Astra, but I can assure you that she's lying. We're on the same side, Captain. Burke is trying to help Quartz by making you do the dirty work. Is that so? Yes, my men and I have never stopped being loyal to Emperor Nartos and Commander Morpha. I agreed to follow Quartz because I thought that would be the best way to discover his plans. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. Ain't that right, Captain? It is ironic that he should put it that way. You've had enough time to report to the commander. Don't be so sure. Since we left Nova Magna, he's been more cautious than ever. I dare say I've managed to deceive him, and yet he's grown suspicious of many of his men and has been moving us constantly. He's so paranoid that it's become rather difficult to justify any move not ordered directly by him. It's hard to tell if he's telling the truth. Anyone in his position would try to lie their way out of it, but Flanagan seems very convincing. Why did you attack the communications center? It was necessary. After leaving headquarters, the communications center enabled Morpha to track our positions. As soon as Quartz turned his back on the commander, I knew Morpha wouldn't rest until he finished him. Blowing up the station was the only way to buy time. Time for what? To find allies. Quartz can't face NATO's troops on his own. If he wants to guarantee the squadron's survival, he needs captains willing to take down the Children of the Sun. He often thought about the Interstellar Republic, but I dissuaded him. They would have executed him before he could ever ask for help. After everything that's been going on, the last thing we need is the Interstellar Republic on our trails. What was your mission at Kingsfall? My goal was to contact several leaders of a mercenary and pirate clans in the neighboring sectors. Quartz wanted to reach some sort of agreement in exchange for protection. They might not be very skilled in combat, but they make up for it in numbers. Half the galaxy is already against the Children of the Sun, so there really aren't that many groups left that could join us. And were you successful? You could say so. The Renegade Army's allies are getting ready for the attack on Maiden's Abyss. They'll leave immediately to meet with the rest of Quartz's ships at Ishtar Gate in a couple of days. The Renegade Army? That's what they tell us. Or call us. Since he deserted, Quartz has recruited quite a few captains to join his cause. Most of the Emperor's opponents have seen in the general an opportunity to go up against the Children of the Sun. As long as Quartz is alive, more and more will join to fight Nartos. Although Morpha has sent a few captains to search for us, they won't be enough. If I was the Emperor, I'd make sure to wipe out any opposition as soon as possible, which makes me think that Nartos isn't fully aware of what's happening. Flanagan is right. If Quartz is gathering an army to face Nartos, the Children of the Sun must stop him at once. In their current state, it should not be difficult to find and annihilate them before they grow too much in number. Perhaps Morpha has been hiding everything from the Emperor out of a fear of humiliation or dire consequences, unknowingly doing you a great favor in the process. Why did you leave Nova Magna? It's hard to tell. We all have our reasons. Quartz's service record was impeccable. When he still was a captain, he already led a whole fleet and was the main candidate to become the new commander of the Children of the Sun. As his triumphs grew bigger, so did his doubts. Little by little, he distanced himself from others until he finally left headquarters together with his most loyal captains. My crew and I agreed to follow him to report his plans to Commander Morpha, but it seems someone's standing in my way. He is talking about you. Where is Jaden Quartz? I haven't got a clue. General Quartz left a few days ago for the Republic sectors. He seems to have contacted the leader of the Red Tier, who goes by the name of Sheep. I warned him not to liaison with Aquinian mercenaries, but I couldn't stop him. He ignored my advice and left by himself while the rest of the squadron headed for its targets. If everything goes fine, he'll meet the squadron at the base in a few days. I see. Flanagan waits for the next question in silence. You look at the lieutenant and she nods. Although you cannot fully trust him, Flanagan is making things easier by cooperating. Otherwise, it would have been difficult to conjure a reason to forbid Blaze from torturing him for information. Flanagan reads your silence as the end of the interrogation. He speaks aloud. Ken Flanagan. Anyway, as long as I'm your prisoner, it will be impossible for you to capture Quartz. It won't be long before my crew reports that I've been captured by the Children of the Sun. When the renegades find out, there's only two possible scenarios. Either they leave the base to avoid any possible attack, under the assumption that I've revealed their plan, or they reinforce their defenses to try and take us down before we can kill Quartz. What do you suggest? Captain Ken Flanagan. You're on the wrong side, Captain. Captain Burke will betray you the first chance she gets. Her sole ambition is to take control of the Renegade Army, even if that means finishing with General Quartz. She may help you gain access to Ishtar Gate, but trust me, once she gets what she wants, you aren't getting out of there alive. Let's make a deal. Release me and let me get rid of her. I'll guide you myself to the Renegade Army's base to take down Quartz and his men. After all, I'm second in command. Who's better than me to sneak you onto the planet without raising suspicion? What do you say, Captain? The man smiles at you. You look at Lieutenant Blaze, her thoughts plain on her face. Release Flanagan. You don't have much of a choice, although Blaze does not approve of your decision. Releasing Flanagan is the best thing you can do. If Quartz is gathering an army to face the Children of the Sun, this benefits the Interstellar Republic. It would be counterproductive to slow down the Renegade's momentum at this point. Yet it is a risky plan. Although everything that Flanagan's told you makes some sense, you still have serious doubts regarding his true intentions. For now, it is best if you stick to the plan. You can use your position to the Renegade Alliance's advantage, at least until you find Quartz. If you manage to find him, you'll figure out what to do with him next. You nod. Alright, Flanagan, we'll release you and you'll take us to Quartz. If you help us capture him, the commander will forget everything that's happened. I'll vouch for you. Flanagan smiles and you turn off the force field. Ken Flanagan. I appreciate your trust, Captain Astra. I'll contact my crew and we'll deal with Burke before leaving for Ishtar Gate. You just have to make her come to us. Got it.
Captain, do you really trust Flanagan?
No.
Of course not, Mai. But it's the smartest move. In the best of cases, Flanagan will immediately call General Quartz, and his fleet will be ready to strike.
If they manage to destroy Maiden Abyss, it would be a great advantage for the Interstellar Republic.
Flanagan speaking. Can you read me, Captain?
Loud and clear.
My men and I will move ahead. We'll await for your coordinates. As soon as we get the signal, our men will warp to the area.
Copy that, Flanagan.
Alright, I know it's been a short one, but that's it for this episode. When next we go ahead, we'll be taking on All In and see how that turns out. See you in the next one.